Hi, good morning, Mr. David. We are going to welcome the participants in a little bit. Okay.
Can you hear me, Miss Irene?
Yeah, sure. I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Okay. So, Mr. David, is it okay if I welcome the participants in Bahasa Indonesia and then later introduce you using Bahasa too?
Yeah, definitely okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, we're going to. Oh, is there anything you want to try to share first, or like share the screen or anything before we let the participant in?
Actually, it's okay. So I already have
Okay.
the presentation. So later I'll just share the screen because currently you're sharing screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. So later I'll just share my screen.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
then maybe we can let the participant masuk sekarang.
Sure.
Ya. Halo, selamat pagi Bapak Ibu. Selamat bergabung di webinar Teachnspire hari ini. Nah, kita masih punya waktu 4 menit, teman-teman, untuk menunggu rekan-rekan yang lain yang sementara join di webinar kita hari ini. Sambil menunggu, rekan-rekan mungkin bisa memperkenalkan diri di kolom chat, ya, bisa menulis nama, kemudian ngajar di mana, ngajar kelas berapa, ngajar apa, gitu ya, supaya kita saling kenal sebelum kita mulai webinar hari ini. Oke, boleh saling sapa-sapa di kolom chat ya. Sambil kita nunggu 3 menit lagi, teman-teman yang lain masih OTW ya untuk masuk ke Zoom. Oke, hai selamat pagi Pak Wisnu Rudi dari Palembang ya Pak ya. Wah, senang sekali bisa ketemu Pak hari ini sama Pak Wisnu. Nah, apakah ada lagi teman-teman yang juga mungkin datang dari daerah yang sama Pak Wisnu dari Palembang? Boleh perkenalkan diri. Wah, ada dari tempat yang berbeda ya. Halo Bu Yuvensi dari Papua, dari Lentera Harapan Sentani ya. Ada juga yang dari Cikarang. Halo Bu. Oh, ada Bu Maria ya, sama-sama dengan Pak Wisnu tadi dari RSI Indonesia di Palembang. Halo Bu, salam kenal, selamat datang. Wah, senang sekali nih bisa ketemu dengan Bapak Ibu guru, teman-teman guru dari berbagai daerah. Ya, seru kita bisa kumpul, belajar bareng gitu ya. Oh, hai Miss Deta dari Surabaya ya. Selamat bergabung Bu Miss Deta. Bu Michelle, selamat berjumpa lagi ya. Udah sering ketemu di webinar-webinar Teachnspire dari Bogor ya, Bu Michelle ya. Oh, tadi saya kelewat ada Ibu EN dari Sumatera Selatan. Halo Bu, salam kenal, selamat datang, selamat bergabung. Halo Pak Diki dari Sekolah Alam Cikeas. Wah, mengajar kelas 1 SD. Wah, seru sekali ya. Tadi juga ada beberapa teman-teman yang sudah memperkenalkan diri, mengajar juga beda-beda ya kelasnya, dari tempat yang beda-beda, dari sekolah yang beda-beda gitu ya. Seru sekali bisa ketemu sama rekan-rekan. Oke, kita sudah setengah rekan-rekan yang mendaftar sudah gabung di webinar kita hari ini. Kita akan mulai dalam waktu 1 menit ke depan. Oh, ada juga. Halo Ibu Rosalida ya, mahasiswi PPG dari Papua. Halo Bu, salam kenal Bu. Bu Sri di Cikarang, Bu Mariani dari Sumatera Selatan. Salam kenal Bu Mariani, selamat datang. Halo Dika ya, Bapak Dika dari yang masih mahasiswa guru ya, wow. Tapi udah bergabung sama kita, pengen belajar bareng-bareng. Dan kita sangat senang sekali rekan-rekan bisa bergabung pagi hari ini. Oke, rekan-rekan sudah jam 11 di waktu saya di daerah Kupang, waktu Indonesia Tengah. Rekan-rekan yang di daerah WIB sekarang jam 10 tepat ya. Yang di WIT sudah siang, mungkinnya udah jam 12 siang, tapi kita senang rekan-rekan bisa bergabung dengan kita di webinar hari ini. Oke, kita akan segera mulai. Teman-teman, sekali lagi selamat datang rekan-rekan guru, rekan-rekan calon guru ya yang udah bergabung di webinar kita, webinar ke-13 pada hari ini. Webinar kita hari ini adalah webinar pertama kolaborasi dari Teachnspire dan The Teachers Academy ya. Nah, The Teachers Academy itu apa? Nanti akan diperkenalkan langsung oleh direkturnya ya, yang juga adalah pembicara untuk sesi kita hari ini. Nah, Bapak Ibu, hari ini rekan-rekan semua, kita tema webinarnya itu adalah Planning Effective Lessons ya. Kita ingin supaya anak-anak kita yang mengikuti pembelajaran di kelas kita boleh mengalami sebuah proses belajar yang efektif. Nah, salah satu yang harus kita consider itu adalah bagaimana menggunakan Bloom's Taxonomy dalam menyusun pembelajaran di kelas. Gitu. Nanti lebih detailnya, saya nggak usah spoiler, atau teman-teman juga banyak yang udah familiar sama Bloom's Taxonomy, tapi nanti juga pasti bakal ada hal baru yang bakal dibawain sama pembicara kita hari ini ya. Nah, sebelum saya memperkenalkan pembicara, izinkanlah kami memperkenalkan dulu apa Teachnspire secara singkat kepada teman-teman, banyak yang udah kenal, mungkin banyak juga yang mungkin baru pertama kali bergabung. Boleh next slide-nya, Pak Den? Oke, thank you. Nah, rekan-rekan, Teachnspire ini salah satu dari sekian banyak komunitas dan organisasi yang benar-benar ingin mendukung supaya peningkatan kualitas pendidikan di Indonesia ini diakselerasi gitu. Dan kita menyelenggarakan berbagai webinar, workshop, dan juga publishing artikel praktek-praktek baik rekan-rekan guru di Indonesia supaya bisa menjadi bahan inspirasi untuk sesama rekan guru dalam melaksanakan proses pembelajaran setiap harinya gitu. Dan kita fokusnya memang kepada topik-topik supaya tidak hanya pembelajaran yang berlangsung di kelas seperti yang kita akan pelajari hari ini, tetapi bagaimana pembelajaran itu juga berdampak supaya anak-anak juga didorong untuk melakukan aksi yang berdampak kepada lingkungannya, supaya berdampak juga kepada sesama manusia maupun kepada alam. Gitu. Nah, boleh selanjutnya, Pak Den. Nah, rekan-rekan, kita ini sebuah platform yang sangat-sangat terbuka, sebuah platform kolaboratif. Jadi rekan-rekan sangat welcome sekali jika rekan-rekan ingin berpartisipasi, ambil bagian dalam Teachnspire, melalui, kalau teman-teman punya praktek-praktek baik selama mengajar, boleh dikirimkan ke kami, nanti kami akan publishing di blog, dan juga akan memperkenalkan rekan-rekan guru supaya kalau ada guru lain yang baca praktek-praktek baik rekan-rekan dan ingin diskusi lebih lanjut atau ingin kolaborasi, nah itu bisa langsung kontak ke teman-teman. Jadi kita sebagai platform yang menyediakan atau membantu supaya ada kolaborasi gitu sesama guru gitu ya. Atau bisa juga kalau teman-teman ingin ada pelatihan secara intensif untuk topik tertentu yang teman-teman di sekolah butuhkan gitu ya, bisa hubungi kami. Kami akan menggunakan ya network yang dimiliki untuk menghubungi rekan-rekan guru yang bersedia untuk berbagi, bersedia untuk membawakan professional development di tempat instansi Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan semua. Atau Bapak Ibu juga bisa seperti webinar dan workshop hari ini bisa banget untuk volunteer. Boleh nggak kalau saya share? Boleh sekali, kita sangat welcome gitu ya. Kami sangat percaya bahwa nggak ada hal yang terlalu kecil ketika kita bagikan gitu ya. Hal yang mungkin kita anggap simple tetapi buat orang lain itu menjadi sesuatu hal yang sangat bisa dipelajari, sesuatu yang baru gitu. Jadi kalau rekan-rekan tertarik ingin bergabung, ingin menjadi pembicara atau merekomendasikan pembicara dan topik, silakan juga hubungi kami. Kami sangat terbuka untuk hal itu ya. Atau ada rekan-rekan di sini yang juga tergabung dalam komunitas atau organisasi atau sekolah yang ingin berkolaborasi bareng untuk melakukan sebuah event tertentu, kami juga sangat open dengan hal itu ya rekan-rekan. Jadi ya, feel free untuk kontak kami melalui nanti ada Instagram, ada Facebook, dan juga ada grup Telegram kami untuk rekan-rekan guru yang sudah pernah bergabung di webinar dan ingin mendapatkan informasi untuk acara ke depan. Nah, ada nanti grup Telegramnya kami juga akan bagikan kepada rekan-rekan guru. Nah, boleh selanjutnya, Bapak Denny. Nah, ini tadi nanti kami akan kirimkan juga ke Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan guru, siapa tahu ada yang berminat untuk menghubungi gitu ya, untuk terlibat membantu supaya kita komunitas saling belajar antar para pendidik dan calon pendidik di Indonesia itu semakin tumbuh subur gitu ya. Nanti Bapak Ibu bisa kontak kami, we are so welcome untuk Bapak Ibu semua. Oke, nah Bapak Ibu, tanpa berlama-lama lagi, izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan pembicara kita hari ini, yaitu Mr. David Ho. Mr. David adalah Direktur dari The Teachers Academy, organisasi di mana hari ini salah satu webinar yang terjalin akibat kerjasama Teachnspire dan The Teachers Academy. Apa itu The Teachers Academy? Nanti akan diperkenalkan oleh Mr. David sendiri. Bapak Ibu juga mungkin udah lihat di poster background pengalamannya Mr. David, bukan hanya mendirikan The Teachers Academy, tapi juga the Singapore Enrichment Hub yang menyediakan pelajaran pengayaan bagi sekolah-sekolah sejak tahun 2007 gitu. Dan untuk The Teachers Academy sendiri ada program sertifikasi untuk para guru. Nanti lebih lengkap, lebih jelasnya akan dijelaskan oleh Mr. David di akhir acara. Sangat bagus sekali kalau rekan-rekan yang tertarik juga nanti bisa follow up juga sama The Teachers Academy gitu ya. Nah, selain mendirikan kedua organisasi yang berkecimpung di dunia pendidikan, Mr. David juga pernah mengajar tentang penggunaan teknologi digital dan pembelajaran termasuk coding, musik digital, dan seni digital di Singapore Teachers Arts Academy ya. Dan dengan berbagai pengalaman yang beliau sudah miliki, hari ini beliau akan membagikan kepada teman-teman, kepada kita semua, kita sama-sama belajar bagaimana merencanakan sebuah pembelajaran yang efektif, ya rekan-rekan. Nah, seperti yang rekan-rekan juga sudah lihat di poster, sesi kali ini akan dibawakan oleh Mr. David menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Nanti rekaman sesi dan materi dari Mr. David dan juga ringkasan sesi tanya jawab akan kami buat juga dalam bahasa Indonesia dan akan kirimkan juga kepada rekan-rekan di akhir acara ya, maksimum 7 hari setelah acara beserta dengan semua sertifikat untuk Bapak Ibu semuanya. Nah, Bapak Ibu bisa memperoleh sertifikat kehadiran untuk webinar hari ini dengan mengikuti webinar ini hingga selesai, dan di akhir acara nanti akan mengisi presensi sekaligus feedback form. Karena kami tahu masih banyak hal yang masih bisa ditingkatkan dari Teachnspire, kami butuh feedback dari Bapak Ibu, dan juga itu dianggap sebagai presensi untuk nanti langsung masuk ke template untuk sertifikat yang akan Bapak Ibu terima nanti. Oke, sekian dari saya perkenalan tentang Teachnspire dan speaker kita. Tanpa berlama-lama lagi, langsung saja kita undang Mr. David untuk membagikan sesinya pada hari ini. Mr. David, the time is yours. You can start the session now.
Okay, thank you, Miss Irene. Thank you very much for your time. Okay, so selamat pagi ya, Ibu dan Bapak, Bapak dan Ibu. Okay, saya namanya David dari Singapura. Maaf berbicara bahasa sedikit. Okay, so I will speak English. Yeah. Okay. So if let's say halfway in the talk, if let's say you cannot hear me or I'm talking too fast, just type in the chat group. Okay, just let me know. Then I will address it. Okay. So anyway, I want to share very quickly about where I'm from. Okay. So my company is called the Teachers Academy. Okay, so we also do enrichment and intracurricular activities for students. So we teach like coding, we have music, we have art, new English and math. We do programs in school, but we also do programs for teachers. Okay, so very quickly, I want to share with you what we do in Teachers Academy. Okay, we are in Vietnam, in Philippines, also Indonesia. Okay, our office is in Jakarta Selatan, at Permata Hijau. Okay, so we conduct workshops also for teachers. Okay, so we have a lot of workshops for preschool, for students management, for lesson planning, for new media. Okay, so aesthetics. So we have like early childhood workshops, special needs. Also, we have entrepreneurship for students. Okay, how to coach sports better, developing student leadership, education management, and effective classroom management, effective digital classroom management, things like that. Okay, and then we also have a diploma to degree program. Now this diploma and degree program, they are credited with UK, means to say once you take our program, you can go anywhere in the world, you're recognized as a teacher. Okay, so we have a level 3 program. Level 3 program are for new teachers. Okay, so it's 6 months program, it's an online program. And then we also have a level 7 program. It is a program for teachers with teaching and experience and a degree. Okay, so for level 7, right, uh, interesting thing is that once you finish it, it's only 6 months. Actually, you can convert it into a master's program. Okay, so the master's conversion will take 7 months. So the total time you need to go for a master's program is actually only 9 months. Okay, which is 9 bulan. Now, once you finish level 7, you automatically qualify for a Society of Education and Training in UK. Means to say, you can join this society in UK. It's like a badge, right? So anywhere you go in the world, right, you can go to Singapore, you can go Philippines, you can go US, UK, you'll be recognized as a teacher. All right, so that's very interesting. Now, this is an example of the program that we run. We have different modules. So like level 3 diploma, we have 4 modules. After you finish each module you have a reading list as well as a assessment. Okay, so you finish your reading list and you finish your assignment, and then you go to the next module. As simple as that. Okay, next one is level 7. Level 7 has 6 modules. So basically, after you read and you do assignment and you meet with the lecturer, you finish one module. That's all. All right. So it's quite straightforward. Now, interesting thing is when you join Teachers Academy, we also have teachers from other countries like Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, and you join a community of teachers. So we have a Telegram group with all these teachers from different countries. And then other than that, you also have teaching opportunities as well as education business opportunities, because we work with a lot of different education companies. So the potential is sometimes the teachers, we do place them in these companies to work with, right? Okay, so we just to share with you a price that we normally charge for level 3, for example, is about 12 juta for the diploma. Okay, for workshop program, it's very, very affordable. It's actually 300,000. Okay, it's for 5 hours. Okay, if you want to get a credit with OTHM, OTHM is the equivalent same to Cambridge. Okay, so that's about 1,100,000. Okay, now what can you do with OTHM credit? If you accumulate enough credit, which is 120 credits, okay, you can convert it into a diploma. All right. So every workshop we have, you will get 12 credits. So once you attend 10 credits, 10 workshops, you will immediately get a diploma as easy as that. Right. So you can join a Telegram to find out more. Okay, in our Telegram, we also have free resources, free workshop materials. So we will actually give you access to all these materials for free. Okay, so you have lesson plans, reading materials. We also have some text for teachers, and also some of the lesson plans we do that I do myself. I also share on the Telegram group. It's given free. All right, so you can take this down. I can type it out later on the chat. Okay, I can look for us. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you today about Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so why is Bloom's taxonomy so important? Now, Bloom's taxonomy is very important because it is basically the way that I would say 100% of all teachers plan their lessons. Okay, now most likely you plan your lesson using Bloom's taxonomy. The only difference is that you didn't really realize that you're planning using Bloom's taxonomy. I can almost guarantee you that. Okay, so Bloom's taxonomy was founded by Benjamin Bloom he was born in 1931 and died in 1999. Okay, he was an American educational psychologist. Okay, so what's an educational psychologist? It is a person who actually helps to understand how to create more effective lessons because they understand what is the psychology of a student, right? So in a way, we're trying to understand how a student learns and what motivates a student. Okay, and then from there we create the lessons so that the students can learn the best, right? Okay, so it's a technique of how to learn, all right, how we're going to learn lessons. And this whole idea about how to learn was created, and then we call it Bloom's taxonomy. Now, in Bloom's taxonomy, there are 3 areas that we want to touch at, okay, but we're going to touch in one area today, all right? So the first area is actually called the affective domain. Affective domain means your emotions, the way you feel. Now, the way you feel and your emotions play a part to your learning. It's very important, okay? Now, the second part is your psychomotor domain, practical and physical. Okay? That means the way you move, okay? Because we are still physical people, right? And the last way is the cognitive domain, which is your thinking and your experience. Okay, so what Bloom actually wanted to address is your thinking, okay, your feeling, as well as your movement. All right. Now, on a very basic level for children at preschool level, okay, one of the first things we want to do is actually psychomotor, okay, which is practical and physical. Okay, and we can use Bloom's taxonomy for that. Okay, and then as we grow older, it will become affective, which is emotion and feeling. And then as you get even older, the last part is cognitive, which is thinking and experiencing. All right. So how are we going to develop psychomotor? How are we going to develop affective domain? And how are we going to develop cognitive domain? Now, I'm going to share a few very, very practical lesson plans, okay, that we do. Okay. We have entrepreneurship courses, as I mentioned. We have music programs. We have art programs. I'm going to share with you some of these programs that we do and how we plan our lessons using Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Now, I hope that at the end of it, if possible, maybe you can create your own lesson planning and your structure using Bloom's taxonomy because it's very, very useful. Now, this is Bloom's taxonomy in a nutshell. Okay. Now, the first step, which is at the bottom, is always for students to remember. That means to recognize and to recall facts. Okay. Now, the second thing is to understand. That means after remembering, you have to understand what it means. Okay, after you understand, then you have to apply. That means use what you know and then apply your knowledge. Okay, now after you apply, you're supposed to analyze. That means to say you think about it, you break it down. Okay, then after that you analyze the different parts. Okay, and then after analyze is evaluate. So normally analyze and evaluate work hand in hand. After you break it down already, then after you evaluate and you think, is this possible or not? And then the last one is to create. Okay, so in a sense, knowing, okay, understanding, applying, analysis, evaluation, and creation. Now, for every single topic or subject that we teach, right, for us, whether we are doing working in Teachers Academy, okay, we have another company called Singapore Enrichment Hub. Okay, for Singapore Enrichment Hub, we do programs for students only. Okay, Teachers Academy, we do programs for teachers only. Okay, so whether is it Teachers Academy or Students Enrichment Hub, every single work, all right, always ends with the teacher or the student being able to create. Now, that's very important because once they create, we will know that they understand what is going on, right? Okay, so now how do we apply Bloom's taxonomy to our lesson plans? Okay, so I'm going to share with you today. Now, let's start with music, okay, because last time I used to teach music, right? I used to teach guitar, I used to teach keyboards and also drums, okay? Now, firstly, let's say we talk about learning a guitar, right? Now, so what is the first step about learning a guitar? So we have to know. That means to say we have to know, oh, this is a guitar, and this is how I play the guitar. That's the first part, knowing. Second one is understanding. Okay, I know how to play the guitar, right? I learned 4 chords. Now, understanding means I can use 4 chords to play a song. Okay, I learned 4 chords at the first stage. I learned G, E minor, C, and D, for example. I learned the notes. Now, understanding means, oh, I know I can use the notes to play this song. I understand that, oh, guitar is a rhythm and melody instrument also. I understand also that there are different kinds of guitar, right? Okay, next one, applying. So what do? I play a song. Okay, so I understand, oh, I understand that, okay, now I can play a song. And I playing Twinkle Little Star. Now, next one, analysis. Then sometimes some of my friends say, hey, can you play maybe Adele on the guitar? Then I say, well, Adele, maybe some of the songs are not very suitable for guitar, right? So that's when I analyze. Okay, and then I evaluate. Then I think, okay, maybe what other songs can I play on the guitar? Maybe by Afghan, right? Okay, so there are some songs actually I've learned also to play using the guitar with Afghan song. Okay, but I don't have the guitar with me today, so I can't demonstrate. And then the last part is to create. Now, what is create? Is to compose a song, just to write a song. As simple as that. Okay. Now, this is Bloom's taxonomy in teaching music. Now, if you look at it carefully, right, some of it looks like they're actually together. Okay, that means they're like all to the process is together. Like for example, analysis and evaluation looks the same one. Actually, what's the difference? Well, you're right. You know, for some of the processes that we do, actually analysis and evaluation is together, right? Analysis means you think about it. Evaluation means you come to a conclusion. That's all. So it's actually one process, but you divide into 2 steps: thinking and then coming to a conclusion. Right. So basically, knowing and understanding also sometimes for some things we do also comes as one step. Okay. Now, for me personally, if when it comes to Bloom's taxonomy, for me, right, I would see Bloom's taxonomy as actually 3 steps. Okay, so first one is knowing, understanding, and applying. To me, this is one step. Okay, step number 1. Okay, analysis and evaluation is step number 2. Okay, and then creating is step number 3. Okay, so that's very easy to remember. Okay, step number 1 means the ability to solve a problem, to apply. All right, step number 1. Now, step number 2 means I give you a problem and then you have to think about it and then tell me what is this problem about. Okay, let me rephrase again. Step number 1 means solving a problem. Step number 2 means you tell me how do you manage to solve the problem and analyze it. Okay, now step number 3 means now you create a problem yourself. Okay, if we talk about math problem or a science problem or English problem, right? Okay, so this is how I see it. Okay, so it's at least it might be clearer that way. Okay, now next thing I want to discuss with you is, so in this case, I want to get an example about mathematics in addition. So that means to say, for example, you want to teach a child math and you want to teach the child the concept of addition. Okay, so how are you going to do Bloom's taxonomy? All right, so I'm doing an academic one so that I hope that it might be easier for you. Now, I know some of you are teaching language like English, some of you are teaching science, okay? So we'll get to that later. Okay, you can apply this for anything. All right, so let's talk about addition first. All right. So let's say level 1. Okay, so what do I use to guide myself to set up Bloom's taxonomy? So some keywords you can use. Define. Okay, so in level 1, you can use define, the word define. So define means you have to define what addition is. So what is the addition? Is it plus, minus, is it equals? Another keyword is describe. So you ask the student, can you draw a plus sign? Okay, next, knowing, tell. The student has to tell. Can you please tell me what happens when we add? Okay, now these keywords are very important because you can use it also for yourself. Okay, if you're teaching science, for example, okay, you're teaching what a tiger is. You get the students to define what a tiger is, describe and draw what a tiger is, and tell you what a tiger is. Okay, so in that way, you will know that they know. Now, if you talk about higher level, for example, we teach coding like Python coding at high level. Now, can you define what this code is talking about? Can you describe what will it do? Okay, and can you tell me what you do? Right? Okay, now next one, understanding level 2. Right, now keywords, some of the keywords. Compare. Okay, that means how is a plus different from a minus? Okay, if you're teaching science, how is a tiger different from a dog? If you're teaching high-level coding, how is a if-else statement different from a while statement? If you're teaching maybe English, how is maybe present tense different from past tense, right? Now, next one, classify. That means we have plus sign, we have a minus sign, we have an equal sign and everything. Can you group the different class, the different math signs? Okay, if you're teaching English, can you group all the words that describe an animal, all the words that describe maybe action, all the words that describe maybe vocabulary, for example. Okay, explore. Okay, give the students a story and then ask them to tell you. Can you tell me which part of the story talks about addition? Okay, can you tell me which part of the story talks about a tiger, even though you don't say a tiger very directly, right? Or which part of the story talks about which part of this code, if you're doing high level code, is the part where you have a condition, like if else condition, while condition, or something like that. Okay, now level 3, application, applying. Some keywords like solve. Okay, so you give them an addition problem and get them to solve. Now, first level and second level, they have not solved a problem yet because they are trying to understand, right? And to tell you if they understand or not. Now, here they have to solve. If you're coding, they have to solve a coding problem. If you're doing English, they have to maybe fill in the blanks with words, okay, for story. And demonstrate. Okay, get them to in front of a class and explain how did they manage to solve the problem. Okay, they demonstrate how many apples to add to get 10 apples, for example. Okay, and then to draw and to write. Have a visual example of addition. Now, why is demonstration and draw this at this stage, right? Is actually a milestone. That means it's a pause here. Okay. Now, in level 3, basically the students start to solve problems, right? Now, why is this important? It's important because the first one, it demonstrates whether they understand or not. Okay. Now, second one, demonstrate is important because you build confidence in them to be able to handle pressure and to show their answer. Okay? Now, it's one thing to do an answer privately, it's another thing to do your answer and to solve a problem in public. All right, so when you do that, you build more of their confidence and get them to understand, oh, actually, I can do it. And actually people can accept my answer, right? We've done this with a lot of students. We do coding, for example, we teach them about building a digital business. And because the students are young, they think that nobody can accept their ideas. Then I get my friends, who are businessmen, and to meet up with these students online, and the businessman will say, your idea is good, you can work. And then the students start to realize, oh, actually it's accepted. Okay, they build confidence when they realize there's acceptance, right? But before there's acceptance, of course, you need to have a foundation. They need to get them to understand what they're doing. Okay, now fourth, level 4 analysis. Now, normally analysis, right, we start at a preschool level. Okay, it might surprise you, but how do you start at preschool level? Ask them simple questions. Okay, let's say you give them an orange, okay, like an orange, and they say, what color is this orange? Then they say, everybody will say it's orange color, right? Now, if you look deeply in the orange, then you have to ask them, now, is this really orange color? Because some oranges have a bit of green color, some have a bit of brown color at the top, right? And some have a bit of white color around the tip, right? So this is analysis. Now, define, okay, for mathematics. So the keyword to use is define. Now, so the keywords, I hope you can, if you don't remember, don't worry, okay, we'll send you the presentation so you can have a look at it. Now, the keywords is a guide for you to plan out, okay? Now, practical application, read a story and can you summarize if it is about addition or something else? Okay, to read the scene, right? So analysis-wise, typically we give students a situation, like let's say for music, for example, we give them a song and then we ask the students, okay, can you tell me what chords are they playing here? Okay, how many instruments are in the song? Okay, and is this a pop song? Is this a jazz song or something like that? That's analysis, right? Okay, and then evaluating practical application. That means to say, after you thought about it already, now you decide what is the best approach to this problem. Now, let's say for music, we realize, oh, this song, there are 5 instruments playing. but we don't have 5 instruments. Maybe what instruments can we use to try to solve this? Now, next one is critique. So critique means after that, we come up with a solution, then we tell ourselves, is this the best solution? And then if this is not the best solution, what other things can we do? Okay, and then refine. Refine meaning, are there any other ways to rewrite this problem? Okay, now last part, okay, level 6, creating. Okay, so the creating is basically creating the problems that they solved before. The only difference is they have to create something themselves now. Okay, so they have to create a math problem in addition. Now, other than creating a math problem in addition, if let's say it's music, it's entrepreneurship, it's coding or whatever, so they maybe create a problem using code, right? And ask their friends to solve. They create maybe we create an issue where for music, for example, we tell them we need to create a song for Panchai Sila Day, all right? Then they have to create a song for that. Okay, now, so until now, I will pause maybe for about 3 minutes. Now, do any teacher have any questions about this? Okay, any teachers?
Teman-teman guru, mungkin ada yang punya pertanyaan soal 6 level Bloom Taxonomy yang tadi dijelaskan sama Mr. David. Mau bertanya sekarang boleh.
Okay, any teachers, any questions, please feel free to type in or speak.
Rekan-rekan bisa tulis di chat atau mau angkat tangan, raise hand juga boleh. Nanti rekan-rekan bisa tanyakan langsung ke Mr. David ya pertanyaannya.
Okay, so from Miss Nania, right? Okay, very, very good question. She said, you asked us all the steps be in one session of teaching. No, it doesn't have to be in one step of teaching, okay? So I'm going to show you in a while how I plan lessons myself, like really, really practical planning. Okay, so this is, I can't share that with you as in give you the PowerPoint, but I'll just share it with you on screen, okay? Because this is like our, one of the trade secrets, I would say that we. Okay, so any other teachers before we get to that? Any other questions you have?
Hi, Mr. David. May I ask you a question?
Okay.
Okay, so I would like to ask, Mr. Is the levels in Bloom taxonomy related to the levels of the students' ability, or is it applicable for all levels? For example, if it's primary 1, is it going to stop only on, create something like that? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so Miss Dita, right? So, by the way, Miss Dita, what school are you from?
I'm from Singapore National Academy in Surabaya.
Ah, I see, I see. Okay. Actually, Bloom's taxonomy applies for every single level and every single subject. Okay, so I think Miss Handayani is just asking. It applies for every single level and every single subject. Okay, so the things that Bloom's taxonomy is a structure, like a skeleton for you to put your lessons. Okay, and yeah, the reason why I'm very, very pro Bloom's taxonomy is very simple. It's because we have been using Bloom's taxonomy for over 17 years, and we've only found out like maybe 6 years ago that actually what we're doing is called Bloom's taxonomy. So after that, we actually did a study on that. Then we realized, oh, actually all our lesson plans have been based on that. Okay, so it's suitable for all subjects, all ages. Now, in our teaching, right, we teach junior, sorry, maybe starting from preschool, kindergarten, elementary, junior, senior high. We also teach special needs kids. Okay, so do we get special needs kids to create? Yes, we do. Now, in 1 year, special needs kids are different because there's only so many things they can learn. Okay, we have a music school in Singapore where last time, right, we have a special needs kids. After about 4 years, he could only play about 3 songs, but that was good enough, right? Did we do Bloom's taxonomy? Yes, we did. We also got him to create a song. Okay, and we also teach in Singapore's largest special needs school, which is called Pathlight. So Pathlight has a lot of special needs students, and do we use Bloom's taxonomy at the end of a term or a year? Yes, we do. It's just that the achievement or the creation of whatever we want them to do is more simple. That's all. It's just a matter of whether it's simple or difficult based on their level.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
so okay, so from Miss Natinia, right? Sorry, Miss Irene, could you help me to translate?
Yeah. So Miss Natania asked, is problem solving be on the creating level on the Bloom's taxonomy?
Oh, okay. Problem solving, I would say, is at step number 3, level 3, right? So creating is at the end. Yeah. So problem solving is different from creating because to create, you need to think and you need to analyze, right? A bit deeper. Whereas problem solving is more straightforward, right? So, for example, let me give you one example. Okay. So let's say if I were to tell a student, okay, now can you find out what's the answer for 1 plus 1? We're gonna do 1 plus 1. Then the student can say, oh yeah, sure, it's 2. But let's say I ask a student, can you create a problem with addition? Right? So suddenly it's not just 1 plus 1, but you open up the entire addition potential problems for the student. Then the student will be thinking, if I do 1 plus 1, can my friends sure can know how to do it? If I do 10 plus 5, I'm not sure if everyone can do it or not. Or if I do 9 plus 6, can they do it? You know, there will be a level of critical thinking involved, right? Whether the students can take it, whether the problem is easy or difficult, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, now I'm just going to continue first and
Mr. David, we have one more
yes.
person that might want to ask the question directly to you. It's Miss
Okay.
Graciela. Miss Grace, you
Okay,
can
sure.
ask directly your question to David.
I'm here. So as we know, we have so many keywords. We have so many other. Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so as we know, we have so many keywords, so many verbs from Bloom's taxonomy. So explain more about. I usually find same verb in different level. Like for example, I have relate, compare, and contrast in the level of understanding as well as analyzing. How can I do that?
Oh, okay, okay. So I understand what you're saying. Okay, so actually, what I can share with you is, okay, now this is a worksheet actually normally we have, okay, for our workshop, okay. So because we don't have a lot of time today, but this is what normally we go through with our teachers. Okay, so you can see here there's Bloom's taxonomy, right? Remembering, understanding, applying, evaluate and create. So this is actually a very handy guide to lesson planning. Okay. Now based on this, to remembering, okay, and then we have factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, meta-cognitive knowledge. Now just ignore this entire left column here. Okay. Now let's say, for example, I want to talk about math addition. Okay. So remembering. So how are you going to get the students to remember? Okay, so you can use this as a guide. And understanding. So what are you going to use it to understand? Application, analyze, evaluate, and create, so forth. Okay. Now, I understand what you're saying. That can I help you to explain a bit more on the keywords? All right. So the only way, unfortunately, right, is we have to practice. We need actually a longer time by right on the workshop, right? So you have to practice, and then we will refine it. Okay. Now, even in a workshop, can you believe that we're actually using Bloom's taxonomy subconsciously in the workshop if we were to create something? So what I mean is that, you know, because all of you are very smart, intelligent teachers, right? So your learning, your remember, understanding, and applying is faster. So we can do this within 1 hour. Now, after 1 hour, we have a workshop where maybe it's 5 hours. The third and fourth hour, we do analysis and evaluation and creating immediately. That means langsung. Okay, that means to say if I were to share with you, okay, today we're going to learn about Bloom's taxonomy, how to create a lesson plan. So I'll share with you about the knowledge to understand and then to apply. Then after you apply it, right? So you finish this part in 1 hour. Now after that, 2 or 3 hours later, you create. Now, after you create, it is not the end, but you need to refine. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that back to your question about can I explain a bit more on the words? It is easy for me to explain, but it'll be hard for you to understand unless you apply it first. That's what I'm saying. So essentially, what I want to say is that we need more time to practice. Okay. But okay. So I think to give you a better example, right? And let me share with you about what we do. Okay. So okay, so let me show you what we do in action. Yeah. So okay, now we teach coding, right? We teach students coding. Now this is a example of how we do coding. Okay, so now as you can see on screen, this is our coding lesson. Now if you can see here, we have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4, right? So on a very, very big picture level, very big picture, that means to say we consider them from kindergarten all the way to grade 10. Okay, so stage 1, we get the kids to learn to solve puzzles. Okay, and then stage 2, they program a game, and then stage 3, they program an interactive game, and then stage 4, they develop a business. Okay, now for our coding program, first of all, let me share with you, our ultimate aim is for them to learn to create an IT business. Okay, now how do we start that? First, we get them to, at K1 level, to learn to solve puzzle, to develop logic, which is applying, understanding, you know. And then stage 2, we still get them to apply, to understand, you know, and to remember, but we use a more complicated platform called Scratch. Okay. Now stage 3, we still get them to apply, to understand, you know, but we get them to do a more complicated platform called Python. Okay, so the technical aspect gets a bit more difficult. Okay, that means we're building all the apply, all the remember, knowledge, and application, the first 3 levels, all the way until grade 6. Okay, until grade 6. This is a very big picture. Now, once they hit grade 7 to 10, immediately we go into the analysis, evaluation, and creation. That means they start to create a business. Because why? These first 3 stages, we already built a very solid foundation for them about learning the different parts of coding, how to create an app, how to create a game, how to go on Tokopedia to sell a thing, you know, how to develop logic. So all these different parts of foundation building. That means level 1 to 3, right? Then after that, here we do level 5, 6, and 7. Okay, this is the big picture. Now, let's say we go to the little picture. Okay, then you might say, yeah, okay, fair, but you know, how about at each level? Okay, do we do Bloom's taxonomy? Yes, we do. Okay. Now, this is, remember I told you about K1 and K2, right? They have to learn basic foundation. But the interesting thing is that we also get the students to do a creation at K1 and K2 level. Okay, because every level we are K1 and K2 we introduce games, right? Like robots actually. Now, grade 1 to 3, we do Scratch, which is another coding program. Then grade 4 to 5, 4 to 6, we do Python, which is another coding program, right? Then after that, we get them to create an IT business. But at their own level, we also get them to create. That means to say, look at this, right? In K1 to K2. So term 1 and term 2, term 1 only. We get them to learn how to solve puzzles. That means that's the learning and knowledge development. Okay. Term 2, okay, look at what they're doing. They're creating maze. That means we're going to the end of the Bloom's taxonomy. They're already creating already. Okay. Now, why is this so? Because these 2 terms, right, they're learning about simple puzzles. Now, term 3 and 4, we're doing robots. That's another thing. Okay. So term 3 means they learn about programming, learn about application, program a robot. Now, what do we do in term 4? The word is create a puzzle. Okay, oops. Okay, so you can see we create a puzzle. So term 1, we already get them to learn and to apply. Term 2, we get them to create. Okay, but that's for a normal maze puzzle, physical puzzle, you know, like we do in classroom. Now, term 3 and term 4 is also Bloom's taxonomy again. Term 3, we get them to program a robot and learn how to move a robot in a maze. Now, term 4, we get them to create the maze for the robot. All right, so this is very, we already start this at K1 and K2, okay? So this is very practical planning. Now, do we use this for everybody? Yes, we do. We do this for entrepreneurship program. We do this for coding program. We do this for music program. I will show you all in a while, okay? Now, can you do this for your school? Yes, you can do this for English, mathematics, anything you want. Now, this for me is our gold standard for lesson planning. Why? Because when I see, when I see this big picture here, I know once the students start from K1 to grade 10, what the students will ultimately achieve, okay? Now, when I see this big picture here, this explains everything, okay? Oh, that's the reason why K1 to grade 10, you know, you're doing this, because grade 10, ultimately, you want the students to achieve IT business. Why we want to do IT business? Because the future of Indonesia is in the digital economy, okay? Because until now, internet penetration is only about 56%. Can you imagine 56%? That means there's still 44% more to grow. All right, so now at a small level, then we do this. Now, after this, what do we do? Term 1, then I will do the lesson planning. That means to say something like this, okay? Something like this, a more detailed lesson plan, like that. Okay, oops. So we'll do something where we'll show, oh, lesson 1 to 3, what we're going to do, lesson 4 to 6, you know? So can you see, lesson 6 to 8, what's the word here again? Create. Create a simple animation. Okay, so the first few parts, we always learn about drawing, moving, you know, simple things, then we always end up creating, okay? Now, was this done before we discovered that we are using Bloom's taxonomy? Yes, this was done before. Long before we discovered Bloom's taxonomy, we were doing coding, we're doing art, we're doing music, entrepreneurship programs, okay? And then all lesson plans always end up with creating. Then when we studied Bloom's taxonomy, then we realized, actually, we've been using Bloom's taxonomy all this time. Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to take a pause first because I don't want to talk too much. Okay, but later on, I'll show you our entrepreneurship program as well as music program, so you have a idea of how we do this. Okay, so any questions also at this time? Okay, any questions from teachers?
Masih ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan guru untuk Mr. David sebelum dilanjutkan ke contoh lesson planning-nya Mr. David ya.
Okay.
I think no more questions for now.
No more questions. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I will share just two more things. Okay, so our music planning, I hope this helps maybe if you're a music teacher, and also I'll share with you how we have an entrepreneurship program. So entrepreneurship program, right, actually is like a very obscure program, you know, for like obscure meaning like it's not very common, but we still manage to actually do Bloom's taxonomy on this. Okay, so let's have a look at entrepreneurship first. Okay, so we teach this program in schools. Okay, now this is our overview for entrepreneurship. Okay, that means to say, if you can see grade 1, we teach them how to do marketing. All right, grade 2, we teach them how to create a business application. Right, so now in grade 2, stage 2, in stage 2, we give them only a limited choice. Okay, you want to do an application on maybe education or for tourists, right? Now stage 3, we let the students decide what they want to do. Okay, and stage 4, right, we get the students to create an application and an online store. Okay, so all these stages building towards the end where the student is really very holistic and can understand how to create a digital business. Now, how do we do this? Now, for example, stage 1, we talk about marketing, right? So what's there to really learn about marketing? I mean, marketing is just about telling people about your product. Okay, but what we do is this, we teach them the basics of marketing. That means to say, for example, mind mapping. Okay, we teach you mind mapping, how to map out a business idea. This is very important because a lot of businesses that we know, a lot of business people we know, they do not know how to make money and how to create a revenue model. Okay, now second thing we teach about how to save your money and manage your money, and how to plan your marketing. Okay, so this three, right, is stage 1 to 3 of Bloom's taxonomy. Now the last 3 stages is here, business campaign. So at the end, we get them to create a campaign for business. That means to say, how do you do a marketing campaign, all right, for your business? Okay, and so forth, right? So okay, so now this is another example. So we get all the students, okay, we teach them a bit more in detail about what is a business model, how you do market research, how you create the brand in term 3. So in term 3, they already start on the last part of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, why? Because at stage 4, the students are faster, so we can get the creation faster. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, okay, let's go to something more familiar, which is music. Okay, I'll share music. Now, this is a music program that we did. Okay, so okay, right. So can we do it starting from K1 and K2? As I say, yes, we can. Okay, so we get the students to learn percussion, because percussion is a very, very basic instrument in singing. And P1 and 2, state grade 1 and 2, they do percussion ensemble. That means as a group, because group playing is more complicated. Then stage 3, we start to do melody. Melody is more difficult. And then stage 4, combination of melody and what's that, percussion, right? Okay, so that's the ultimate aim, right? So we want them to be very holistic. Now, individually, okay, let's look at K1. Okay, so we teach them music fundamentals. That's the learning of knowledge and remembering. Okay, rhythmic and melodic playing. This is applying. Okay, and then performance ensemble, create, because we are creating something. We're creating a performance. Okay, that's for the K1 and 2. Okay, now let's go all the way to the last one. Okay, now how about this one? This is grade 6. Now we teach them at the start about guitar, how to play the ukulele. Then we teach them about computer music. All right. Now, if you can see here, this part here, immediately we go into creating. Okay. Why is it creating? Because when they compose a music, they have to think and to analyze. Oh, what instrument do I need to use? What song am I going to write? They have to think about it. And what's the best instrument to use? So when you do create, right, the analysis and evaluation will follow it. Right. So that's why in here we do create. All right. So basically, this is how we do our lesson planning. All right. So I hope so far everything has been clear to you. All right. Okay. So now at this point, any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay. Teachers, do you have any questions?
Teman-teman guru, ada yang punya pertanyaan, ingin bertanya secara langsung atau melalui chat juga boleh ke Mr. David ya.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, Mr. David, we have a question on the chat box dari Bapak Wisnu. How to apply those lesson plan during online learning?
Okay, so but Wisnu, so the thing is that it's definitely possible to apply during online learning. So actually we are doing exactly like what you saw just now, right? We are actually doing the same thing also. Okay. Now, personally, I was teaching also some coding lessons in IPK, for example, right? So what we do in IPK is at the start we teach them how to do coding. Okay, then after that, towards the end, okay, what we do is that we get the students, right, to create basically something like, what can I say, application, all right, and we do it in we get them to do in teamwork. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is that what I can suggest is that the easiest thing, yeah, is that you can do planning based on the structure that I mentioned, and after that you have to present it, and then we have to review it. Okay, so that will be the best way for us to do it.
Okay, jadi masih it's still possible ya to do Bloom's
Yeah,
taxonomy during online learning. Okay. I have another questions coming in.
Mm.
Oh, how do we, from Miss Elfina, Mr. David,
Yeah.
how do we know that the students has mastered the earlier step before moving to the next level on the Bloom's taxonomy? How do we know if it is the time to move on to challenge the students on the next level of the Bloom's taxonomy? What do you
Okay.
usually do to know that?
So actually, this one, right, has to okay. Let's say we talk about okay. Let's go back to Bloom's taxonomy again, right? Okay. So let's say we talk about this part here. Okay. So now the milestone. Okay. Actually, this is step number 1. Okay. Then step number 2. Step number 3. Step 4. Okay. 5 and 6. Right. Okay. Now the milestone, right, is actually at step number 3 and step number 6. Okay. So what I mean the milestone is very simple. Okay. Now let's say when I teach, last time when I used to teach drums, okay. Now most teachers, what they do is to teach, let's say left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, okay. And then after they teach left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, then they teach right, left, left, right, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of exercises and a lot of drills. Now, if we were to go to, let's say like Kumon method, Kumon meaning is rote learning. That means you keep doing this until you know. Okay, it's possible, but the problem is that you'll be very, very, very boring. Okay, the students will quit after a while. Now, some people like rote learning methods, but not everybody like rote learning. Now, that's why the application is very, very important. Okay, now in application, right, if I can suggest to you, okay, we need to have different levels of application. Okay, now this is what we are doing currently now in our mathematics, actually, as well as everything. Actually, you have been doing it, right? So we have level 1 of application, level 2 of application, level 3 of application. Okay, so what I mean level 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, now let's say you have a student struggling with mathematics, right? Okay, and then he doesn't understand mathematics at all, the concept of addition. So level 1 math might be let's say John and James have 1 apple each. Okay, so how many apples do they have together? Okay, now level 2 might be you add, other than John and James, right, you add 2 more persons to add. Then level 3 will be you add 3 more persons, for example, because it will become a bit more complicated, right? So in the application process, right, you might have to repeat again and again. But you need to set a milestone at the application process. Actually, it just simply means that we need to do a test. Okay, now this is the difference between a good teacher and a bad teacher, actually. Okay, why I'm saying this is basically the expense of your time. All right, now in music, there is ABRSM. I keep using music as an example because it's something that we've been doing for many years. Okay, there's ABRSM for exam. There's also Trinity for exam. Now, the best exam I found so far is this very unknown exam called NSCA. NSCA, nobody has heard of. But why is it so good? It's very good in my opinion because the application process, right, they do it very layered. That means to say, okay, now I want you to play this song, okay, at this standard. Okay, now you can only play right, left, right, right. All right, okay, good, never mind. I want you to play 10 songs that have this right, left, right, right style. That's all. 10 songs. Now, if you go to ABRSM and Trinity, they'll just give you 1 song. That's all. Okay, so I'll find 10 songs for the student to apply so they understand and they enjoy at the same time because it's a song, right? Now, okay, they clear level 1, good. Now, level 2. Okay, in terms of application, now it's not just right, left, right, right, but we have right, left, right, right, left, right, left. We have this pattern. Now, in this application level 2, we have 10 songs, not just 1 song, yeah, but 10 songs to do. Okay, after that, you go to level 3, you have 3 combinations of playing patterns. Okay, same for mathematics. Maybe you have 2 persons in addition problem. Level 2, you have 4 persons getting involved in a problem. Let's say John, Mary, James, and maybe Adi, for example. And then the level 3 is you have 10 persons, and then they have to figure out, oh, this one is 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus, or something like that. Okay. Now, the expense of your time, of course, is very important, and you have to find resources, to put at this level for the students to do. Okay. So in Singapore, some of the teachers, they have won teachers awards, right? Like Teacher of the Year, that kind of thing. But when we see the Teachers of the Year awards, they really spend a lot of time with the students to get this milestone up. Okay, so I really hope this answers your question. Now, after that, creation, we also have different level of creation. Level 1, level 2, level 3, maybe. Okay. Now, at least this is what we do. Okay, but Bloom's taxonomy did not expand on this, but I'm expanding on it because this is what we do. So what's level 1 of creation? Let's say you are composing music. Level 1 of creation means I only use one instrument and I write lyrics. Level 2 creation means we use 3 instruments. Melody instrument like a guitar, a bass like a bass guitar, and then a rhythm instrument like a drums. Right? Now, level 3, we use 5 instruments. Bass, melody, rhythm, plus percussion, and also singing. Okay, so that's different levels of creation. So Bloom's taxonomy is not just so straightforward. That's why you can apply for different levels. All right. So level 1, maybe you apply for preschool. Level 2, apply for elementary. Level 3, apply for junior and senior high. But at the same time, level 1, you can do a lot again and again and again and again. Okay. Now, as you do again and again, you realize the students will get better. Why? And how do I know? Because we also apply. I apply it to my own students and they get better and better and better. The first level 1 or the second level 1 that they do right in the application is just horrible. They cannot do it. And the more they do them, the more they understand. Okay. Now the trick is that for the application, this process, the applying part, you need to give them something that's interesting. Okay. Now for coding, we get them to learn how to do games. For entrepreneurship, we teach them how to do create their own business. For music, we get them to play songs by Justin Bieber, for example. Now sometimes we try to avoid classical music because it's more than like 200 years old, some of the pieces. Okay. Now, how about English? How about Mandarin when we teach? How about Bahasa Indonesia? How do we make it relevant? Okay, you need to come up with relevant topics. Okay, for English, for example, even though we teach grade 3, okay, grade 3, we teach about application and we give them a newspaper article that says, oh, in today, the COVID vaccine has been found. Yeah, so we ask the students, can you please tell me, do you think this COVID vaccine is real or not? We ask questions like that. And do you think this COVID vaccine is good for everybody? It might sound to be a very mature question, but the grade 3 people will actually be able to answer you. Very interesting. Okay, so application means we need to try to find a point of relevance. Okay, it's important to get them to stay interested and engaged. It's always very important. All right. Okay, so so basically that's the key angle. So I really hope I answered your question. So I know I spoke quite long on this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. David. I have one last question from one participant. This might be the last question for the session. It's from Mr. Chandika.
Okay.
He asked, is Bloom taxonomy and all the steps in it, is it something that we have to introduce to the kids so that they know, oh, we are on level 1, we are on the level of analyzing? Is it something that we have to introduce, or can this be something behind our planning, only us as teachers know and the kids just go with the process? Or is it something that we have to introduce to them?
Okay, actually Bloom's taxonomy is something for us teachers to use only. So we don't have to tell the students. That's okay. Yeah, so the things that normally when we teach, I'm not so sure if all the teachers practice, but what we do is that for the lessons when we teach, right, we write the objectives on the board every day before the lesson. We'll say that, okay, we're going to learn coding, we're going to learn like maybe, sorry, Miss Irene, I think there's a bit of echo. Hello?
Can hear you very clearly, Mr. David. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so well, you don't have to show the students. Okay, so for Miss Dorothy, teaching online with less duration than on-site learning, yes, we totally agree. So teaching online, actually, what we can do or what we have done is that we shift the responsibility to the students. That means to say we put some resources online and then we get the students to download the resources and do. Okay, so we shift the how can I say it? We shift the online meeting into a lower percentage, but we shift the online work with the students. Actually, you can do it in breakout rooms in Zoom as well as Google Classroom. Okay, we let them discuss online what they have to do. Yeah, so actually we have been actively doing that. It's just very, very difficult at this point for anybody to do online lessons the whole day. Actually, it's very tiring.
Yeah, okay. Thank
Okay,
you, Mr. David, for the answers. Thank you juga untuk Bapak Ibu peserta. Apakah ada pertanyaan lagi yang masih ingin ditanyakan kepada Mr. David, baik di chat ataupun mau secara langsung? Karena kita sudah hampir menuju akhir dari sesi kita hari ini, teman-teman, rekan-rekan guru. Rekan-rekan, sekali lagi, mungkin sambil ada yang mengetik pertanyaan ya, rekan-rekan, kita akan mengirimkan materi PPT yang tadi dibagikan oleh Mr. David, berikut juga dengan rekaman sesi hari ini, dan ringkasan atau rangkuman dari sesi tanya-jawab. Jadi tadi ya mungkin ada gangguan jaringan, masih bisa mempelajari kembali, melihat kembali materi yang dibawakan oleh Mr. David hari ini. Nah, hari ini kalau saya bisa highlight, tadi ada dua hal menarik yang saya dapatkan yang disampaikan oleh Mr. David. Yang pertama adalah bahwa di proses application atau creating itu sebenarnya bisa membantu anak-anak juga, selain bisa aplikasi apa yang mereka pelajari, mereka juga bisa terpacu confidence-nya ya, kepercayaan diri mereka karena oh ternyata saya bisa melakukan sesuatu in real life menggunakan apa yang saya pelajari di kelas. Dan yang kedua tadi di bagian analisis, sebenarnya itu sesuatu yang bisa diajarkan ke murid, bahkan kepada anak-anak di usia taman kanak-kanak ya, anak-anak TK juga udah bisa diajarin tentang yang namanya analisis. Itu yang bisa saya dapatkan, dua hal yang baru dan sangat menarik yang saya catat tadi. Bapak Ibu juga mungkin udah nyatat banyak hal ya. Oke, jadi apakah masih ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan? Oke, nah di kolom chat rekan-rekan sudah bisa menemukan nanti ada Telegramnya dan juga Instagramnya dari The Teachers Academy. Nanti juga kita bagiin dari Teachnspire. Nanti masih ada webinar-webinar berikutnya untuk bersama The Teachers Academy. Nah, untuk bulan Februari sendiri, minggu depan, kita ada kedatangan salah satu rekan guru yang akan membagikan salah satu praktek penilaian yang beliau lakukan di kelas, yang disebut dengan Letter of Concern. Nanti kalau Bapak Ibu penasaran, nanti bisa daftar juga untuk next week webinar ya. Oke, kalau tidak ada pertanyaan lagi dari rekan-rekan guru, kita mau dokumentasikan, kita mau foto bersama ya. Kita minta kesediaannya, rekan-rekan guru bisa menyalakan kamera bagian tidak berhalangan. Nanti akan dipandu sama Ibu Mega dari Teachnspire ya. Nanti kita juga akan kirimkan the photos kepada Bapak Ibu guru semua, kenang-kenangan ya, udah ikut webinar hari ini. Oke, Bu Mega, kalau ini udah bisa memandu kita, bantuin kita untuk take foto.
Oke, thank you, Miss. Suara saya kedengaran jelas ya, Miss ya?
Ya, kedengaran, Miss.
Oke. Nah, mari kita sama-sama boleh buka kameranya, Bapak Ibu. Oke. Di sini saya punya 3 slide. Jadi minta tolong ya, nanti slide pertama tetap senyum, slide kedua juga seperti itu, dan slide ketiga juga tetap senyum lebar gitu ya. Nanti boleh sama-sama ya. Oke, untuk slide pertama, mari Bapak Ibu, 3, 2, 1. Oke, slide yang kedua. Ibu Elia sama Ibu Marlina, mungkin kalau boleh on kameranya. Oke. 3, 2, 1. Slide yang terakhir. Di sini ada beberapa Bapak Ibu guru yang belum terlihat ya. Oke, mari. 3, 2, 1. Oke, sip. Saya kembalikan
terima
kepada Ibu
kasih.
Airin, silakan.
Thank you, Bu Mega. Terima kasih, thank you Mr. David dan juga Mr. Yuan yang juga membantu Mr. David hari ini ya dari tim Teachers Academy untuk berbagi dengan kita rekan-rekan guru hari ini. Terima kasih juga Bapak Ibu guru, rekan-rekan guru yang dan calon-calon guru yang sudah bergabung di webinar kita hari ini. Kita senang sekali bisa berbagi, bisa belajar bersama. Semoga di kesempatan belajar berikutnya masih juga bisa bertemu dengan rekan-rekan guru semua, baik sebagai peserta maupun kalau yang tadi saya sampaikan, ada rekan-rekan guru yang ingin berbagi nih sama rekan-rekan guru yang lain, feel free untuk sampaikan ke kita, nanti kita bantu untuk sediakan platform ya untuk rekan-rekan guru. Oke, nah rekan-rekan guru nanti kami akan berikan sertifikat, mohon kesediaan untuk rekan-rekan guru mengisi feedback form. Nah, sudah dikirimkan oleh Pak Denny di kolom chat ya. Nanti Bapak Ibu guru bisa mengisi feedback formnya. Nanti sudah ada kolom untuk mengisi nama lengkap. Nanti akan langsung masuk ke template juga untuk sertifikat rekan-rekan guru semuanya ya. Oke, nanti rekan-rekan yang sudah selesai untuk mengisi feedback form boleh meninggalkan Zoom. Sekali lagi kami mengucapkan terima kasih, thank you Mr. David and team, dan juga terima kasih semua rekan-rekan guru, rekan-rekan pendidik. Ya, sampai jumpa lagi di kesempatan belajar berikutnya ya, Bapak Ibu guru semuanya. Terima kasih. Oh, saya lupa sampaikan Bapak Ibu, feedback form ini akan 10 menit setelah kita selesai sekarang akan otomatis tertutup. Jadi sebelum meninggalkan Zoom, Bapak Ibu bisa menyempatkan waktu untuk mengisi feedback form hari ini. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Miss Irene dan tim.
Thank you Mr. Iwan and Mr. David. Oke, Bapak Ibu yang sedang mengisi feedback form, Bapak Ibu bisa meninggalkan ruang Zoom. Sementara Bapak Ibu yang belum, nggak apa-apa, masih boleh stay di Zoom. Kita feedback formnya masih buka untuk 5 menit lagi ke depan. Sebelum nanti otomatis tertutup ya, rekan-rekan. Terima kasih. Oke, terima kasih sekali lagi teman-teman guru, teman-teman peserta yang sudah hadir. Kami pamit untuk menutup ruang Zoom-nya ya, Bapak Ibu. Sampai jumpa di kesempatan berikutnya, Bapak Ibu semua. Selamat berakhir pekan.